Okay, I think we can start the stream. Rami is there. Don't leave me hanging. Uh, Talk to me, Ray. And we're gonna do the island tour today. Uh, as I promised, because a lot has happened, I guess, or a lot of things went along since the last time I streamed the island, I believe. And I wanted to bring everybody up to date. So let's get into the broad details first, and tell you um what Blue Skies really is. It's a flight sim in air quotes. It's not really a simulation, or it's not supposed to become a hardcore simulation. It's more like an arcade style game with easier to control controls, with easy controls. And you basically fly through oh, I should probably change with the logo. And you fly through rings above the island that you're seeing right here, and shoot balloons, and that uh, is the premise of the game. Keep uh, keep it fun and simple, and don't overdo it. So we can get this game done in a reasonable time frame. And I'm doing this with the coder Emerald Nova from the Sega Extreme Discord and forum. He's doing the code. Well, he's the coder, so he's doing the code. And Astral Junkie, who is also a coder, but she's doing the sound design, so SFX and sound effects and background music and such. And she'll be hopefully streaming next Sunday. She asked if she could stream before or after me, or Emerald Nova, to like get into it. And I'm not really into it or all that comfortable with streaming, but it's all for the game, and I want to promote the game. So here we are. This is the island, the only island, the setting of the game. So I wanted it to look good. So this is modeled off of Beef Island. That's a part of the British Virgin Islands. In game, it's not called Beef Island. It's I'm searching for another name, but it's modeled off the real life Beef Island, and in the British Virgin Islands off the coast of South America. Please don't make me get into more detail than that. So let's see. Well, maybe I can. Let me just Google it real quick so I can tell you where it is. No, that's not the Beef Island. I mean, that's yep, that's not it. That's a different Beef Island. Yeah, there are several islands named that. Ah, there it is. You just Google or whatever search engine you prefer, British Virgin Islands, Beef Island, you'll see exactly what I mean. and where is it? It's let me just scroll out. It's it's off east of the coast of Middle America, Mesoamerica. It's ah, it's it's east of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and Haiti. That's where it is. Part of the British Virgin Islands. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, and I've tried to keep it to scale. Mostly, I had to like enlarge the scale of the buildings by like 1.5. So there's a discrepancy between the scale of the buildings and the scale of the island, but it still looks right. And I've tried to keep the buildings consistent and to scale. And everything else you see, I've always used the scale. So, and I've chosen this island because here in front, I've wanted a nice small island, which turned out to be not so small as things in real life usually are. But overall, it worked, and we have I've used um a map with how do you say it in English? Height lines, like where you could see the terrain, and I've used the actual terrain as a reference for the most part, because like if you see here, this part was very flat, so I raised this part a bit, but the mountain and this small hill on the side, those are to scale, and most of the rest is, and the island topology is to scale as well. And here in front, there is actually an airport on Beef Island. You can look at the footage in one of satellite footage in one of the Google Maps, OpenStreet Maps or whatever it's called. That's the one I've used, the open source one, and and the runway has actually some partial photo textures which I adapted from the real runway of Beef Island. And there's like all these buildings, but the buildings don't really correspond. Well, they do. Some buildings correspond to the position where they're on the real island. So there are some buildings on the real island over here, and over here, and over here as well. But I didn't actually use the shape of the buildings for the most part. So I don't think there actually are skyscrapers. I'm pretty sure there are no skyscrapers. I've seen photos here on Beef Island. This is pure fantasy. Only the position of some of these buildings is correct and the size, but I've wanted skyscrapers here, so I built them there. The airport actually is somewhat the airport. I've seen pictures and I've remodeled it to a certain degree, so it has these two arches, I think, these two protrusions, and this is pretty correct in air quotes. And there are actually hangars here on the real Beef Island, and they have this size. I don't remember, but I think there was a tower, but I don't think it had the same position as I have here, or the same shape. And there are some airplanes I've remodeled. Some airplanes I found on the internet. Here you can see some freighters, model off of real freighters. And here's here's a sailboat that for some reason is missing its sail. Maybe I deleted it by accident. And there's actually an island here off the coast of Beef Island, but there's no lighthouse. But I wanted a lighthouse, so there it is. And the positions of the buildings is mostly correct. I thinned them out a bit because there were too many, and I thinned them out here as well, but the position of these buildings, as far as they are there, they're correct. And well, I've scaled them up, but other than that, they're correct. And obviously there is no, oh god, there is no Easter. I always forget the term for them. There is no Easter Island monumental ahead on Beef Island because Easter Island is not is not located off of the coast of Puerto Rico. I'll have to Google where it is, but it is very far off. I just wanted one of these, and I'm happy that I could. But I'm happy that it turned out properly. I modeled it off another 3D model of such a head, and I'm happy that I managed to get it under. It only has 53 faces, so I'm happy about that, and I'm happy with the shading. The shading is baked in. It's not dynamic shading. It's, if you look here, the shading is flat, and if I turn on actual shading, it looks a lot different, but I always have flat shading on because that's what the Saturn has in our engine. It can have something different, but in our engine it has flat shading. So I hand texture the shading with 8x1 textures with a single color, which is trivial RAM wise. So all the buildings are done in this minimalistic style, and the rest is textured. One of the most recent additions, which I'm happy about as to how they turned out, and how the texture turned out, and you can actually see the texture when you're flying nice and properly when you're flying close to it in engine. There's some culling issues right now, but when you see the textures, they look really nice, and you can actually somewhat see these rows of lavenders bushes. And I'm not that happy with these this texture. I think it was taken off of a wheat field I made a photo of. It has some nice greenish touches, but I think I'm going to do a sunflower texture similar to this one, where you can kind of see where you can kind of see the flowers. This is also a simple self-made texture. It's a 32 by 16 texture, and it's I don't know in how many countries you see these, but these are long distance power lines. Like they're huge in real life, like skyscraper huge. So this is a real life skyscraper. It has the correct height, and this is maybe a rather large. Maybe I can scale them down a bit to make them more realistic, but they tend to be ginormous. So this might not be off the bat, and they actually come through pretty well on in engine on the Saturn as well. So this works, and I'm very happy about it. Especially since there's backface culling, that means the backface doesn't get drawn. We can turn that on if I find it. No, I'm in the correct mode. There it is. Okay, backface calling on. So you can see if backface culling is on, all faces have two sides and they're oriented towards one side, which is called the normal. And if you see it from the other side, it becomes invisible, like this. So I go below the island, you can't see it anymore. Maybe you've dropped through the level once or twice and seen this effect, but that's called backface culling. And this is helpful because it helps make these power lines not too busy. Like if I turn backface culling off and you can see both sides, you can see like the other side of these metal bars, and that would make it too busy. But if I turn on the backface culling, it becomes more clean. Well, in real life, you would, of course, see the metal bars through from the other side through these openings, but for the sake of having clean graphics, I made them I turned backface culling on. So Super Ray says it renders faster. Yeah, that's also an important point why you do this. You don't have to calculate both sides, and that's gonna help a lot. I think the only place where I'm gonna need double-sided faces is right here. If you can see these rotors, I will have to make them separate objects, and then you can and make them double-sided so you can see them from both sides, because they're just flat faces. So to see them from both sides, backface culling has to be turned off on these, and then Emerald Nova can easily rotate these, and then they're gonna be animated, and that will look really nice. So is there anything else I haven't showed? The textures, the island textures, like the sand and the stone and the grass, were heavily edited from Humble Bundle assets, but they're not my own textures, so I want to disclaim that they're from different tile sets from different people who made assets on Humble Bundle, and I've licensed those and heavily adapted them to fit my specific needs for this island. And other than the grass, the sand, and the stone, the other textures are from me. Well, there's nothing to these plane scale textures, and there's nothing really to this metal bars texture, but I'm happy about the lavender texture. So there's that, and I'm happy about the runway texture, and that's mine as well. Luckily, making 16 by 16 textures is manageable. It's not. It's manageable. So, is there anything else? Ray, do you want to know anything else about the island? Any questions left, or should we start getting into some stuff? Oh, one last thing. I thought I maybe needed double-sided textures on these wings as well, but you're mostly only going to see them from above. And they have these little protrusions, these little wing flaps, but it's not that noticeable. That one's missing right here, and it's fine. Like, I can show this right here. I can turn off backface. Whoa, backface calling off. Ah, good, exactly. And now you can see them both, one here, and now I turn backface calling on, and it's gone. But who's gonna notice? Maybe I should remove them. Yeah. Rami says the wing flaps at that low res, you're lucky to even see them. So I don't know. Maybe I will get rid of them altogether. So let's get into some fixes that I wanted to do. Like, these planes are very white, so let's go ahead and try to give them some color. So this is, I've got these all color coded, these textures. So this is the hex code. So this is wall hex code, and then the hex code of the color. And so this is the second. Rami just said it would be great if you could see how the colors would look like in RGB 555, which is what Saturn uses. Yeah, I've noticed that that the colors are different on Saturn. Like, you don't really see the gray nuances of this part on the Saturn. It appears black, like pure black, and you can't see any shades of gray in these areas anymore. So Rami says the normal RGB range is 0 to 255, but the Saturn is 0 to 31. Huh. I wonder if there is some way to pre-convert the textures to that color space. The RGB 555 color space, the reduced color space to see to actually see how the colors will look on the console. So let's just do that. Let's do it's 6 faces, nobody's gonna miss. Let's just get rid of them or something like that. Or could just take the 2. I really need to find out how to save the chat. How to save the chat so I can, like, nope, not feeling it. Streamlabs. Remy says Streamlabs. I should use that. I'll see what I can do about that. Nah, I'll keep them for now. I will keep them for now. I think I have an idea how to make them noticeable. So, what color is this face? Second brightest. So I'm going to the second brightest red. Second darkest, going to the second darkest red. Second brightest again. Okay, second brightest, going to the second brightest blue. Second darkest blue. And that's already helping. Let's play around with this. So this is all the second brightest again, white. So let's go to the second brightest blue. Darkest, makes sense. Go to darkest blue. And the nose is third brightest, go to third brightest. Yeah, this is already helping. I'm going to go back on this one, change it back to white. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm keeping that. Now let's see. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot one fin. The the backwards fin of the airplane. I'll need to go back and put in the reference and put that in. But for now, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. See you in a bit. So, and I'm back. Let's get going again and have a look. What color should we make these? Let's do red. This way somebody should hopefully notice these tiny red pixels. Tiny pixels. Let's also make these red. So as you can see, this isn't exactly an exact science. The sun is supposed to be roughly in this direction. Like, you can see all the buildings have these white bright sides, so this is where the sun is coming from. I'm looking directly at our imaginary sun up here, and that is how all the buildings are textured roughlishly. So if you don't look too closely, that's how they're textured. Ray asked if it would be possible to render the island in RGB 555 in Blender. Well, there may be a way to do this, like in a compositor, but I don't think that would be the solution. I think the solution would be to like do that in the image program, like do it in PaintNet or oh god, in GIMP. So GIMP should be able to do that, like transfer to RGB 555 color space so it looks properly, and then look at it here again to see if it's okay, and then match it up with the Sega Saturn. So what do we have here? Just taking a look which one I need on a scale of 1 to 5 from brightest to darkest. I have to do that for each side because this turbine is behind the plane, it's in front of the plane, and I'm taking account of that. All the little details. All the little details. Those are the ones that count. It's the polish that hurts you the most. Eh. Gonna save. Oh, I made a mistake. This should be second darkest, and it's not. I need to make sure this is proper, but this looks somewhat proper. What I'm gonna probably end up doing again is deleting those again, making an array modifier, and then making an array of those. I can do that later. So, but here it is, or nice colorful plane, an airplane, not like a 3D mesh plane. This is a plane. I I wonder, maybe Remy can tell me, is the Saturn gonna complain about these? I think it didn't, but I'm not sure. Like, okay. Some uh, Sometimes the Saturn surprises you. Like when it says, I just don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want because you're so used to uh you're so used to getting told off by the Saturn, I can't do this, I can't do this, or your engine not being able to do this or that because you can't implement it with the code you with the current SDKs and whatnot. That once in a while, when a Saturn says I can do that, I don't fucking care if the face is totally distorted. I'm gonna draw it anyway, which is always a nice surprise. So, I used to have a power station here, or a transfer unit, but it had way too many faces, so and you're not gonna see it, especially if you're far away. So we will simplify that. We will make a nice large power transfer station thingy. Let me just check 10 meters or 10 po it's either it was it's so hard to tell. I've lost track of my original scale, which is not good. Which is not good. This should, maybe it's x2. I think it could be. Ah, this is killing me. We'll need to find the house. Or I can look at the proper scale. What is... They're all adapted to the terrain already, so I don't know what the proper scale was. I think x2 is the scale, so this should be actually 7 meters, so 2 stories, so that should work out, I hope, ish. Let's look at this house. 9 meters. Yeah. That should work out. Let's... People are not gonna look too closely, but I'll have to keep track of that. Have a look at how things look in real life and make it not too obvious. So let's just say this is an x2 scale. Did I apply that something stupid happens? No, I have applied scale. So let's scale this up on the x-axis by 10. It's a 10-meter building, which is frankly nothing. Look at the other buildings, and it's supposed to be a power plant. So let's scale this on the x-axis by 3, 60 meters. All of these squares are like 90 meters. Well, that should be okay. Let's scale it on the y-axis by 10. Scale again by 2. Oh no, scale on y by 2. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. So I will make sure that This has the correct height. Let's snap to face. 2 meters is not enough on an x2 scale. So this building's actually 30 by 20 meters. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. Let's select this and make one story. That's 7 meters at x2, 3.5, 7 or 8 meters, which is more than enough. So let's see what happens if I snap this down here. What do we have then? 21 meters, which is 10 meters, or 22, which is 11 meters, which is roughly 3 stories. So this building is 1 to 3 stories tall, which is acceptable. That is acceptable. Okay, let's subdivide it, and not too much, but just so that I can make this look more like a factory. Oh god, I have to subdivide it here as well. Right? Yeah. Right. So I can do... Oh, no. That probably was a bad idea. Let's do this here. Let's extrude this by, I'll do this by, just by looking at it, this should be fine. Is it? This is still set to snap on face. I want to snap on vertex. Is auto merge on? Auto merge is on. Auto merge is right up here. I always thought it was hidden here in tool workspace. Come on. No, options, auto merge. I thought it was hidden here under N tools options auto merge, but it isn't. It's right up here. You can just click it on and off, which is nice. This is nice. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I shouldn't actually not have merged that. How do I do this? I'll have to think for a second. I'm gonna rip this and pull this down. Rip this. Pull this up. Pull this down. Pull this to the same height. Ha. Aha. So what happens if I... Good question. How do I do this? Need to experiment for a bit to see if it can be done without using triangles, because the Saturn does not like them. Does not like the triangles. Oh, well, it can do triangles. It's actually a lie. Big bad lie. Raimi is asking me why I'm subdividing so much. It's because I'm trying make free because I'm trying to get this roof to display properly. Just make 3 rectangles until top face, he says. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's how they um you know what? I think I can risk 3 triangles here. I'm going to risk 3 triangles. Well, more like a different amount, but still triangles. Oh god. The mortal sin. No, I can't. If you, well, having a hard time to understand Raimi's instructions on how to do it. Can you like make a Blender model and send it to me? What's happening again? Okay. Here we go. This is somewhat okay. I think I can actually tilt this to the side somewhat. Let's just go with the triangles, okay? Let's do the triangles. Bring this down to the proper height, and then I'm going to pull these down until this is it was 8 meters. How did that happen to be 8 meters? Whatever. Let's make it 8 meters here as well. Let's make it more like this is fine. Somewhat. Yeah. Maybe go a little higher here. and let's try to do this. So, where are we facing? These are the white spaces. So, this is the whitest. The whitest. Second whitest. So this should be the darkest, and this can be the second darkest. So you can actually see the proper lighting. Also make these the brightest. Maybe you can make them consecutively or darker. Does that look okay? No, that just looks weird. No, it still looks weird. They need to be the same color. They need to be the same color. So we got second darkest here, so we need... Actually, this needs to be gray. Or does it? Oh, let's not make it gray. So Raimi sent me a file. Let's see what happens when I open that. Let's just turn off Discord and the browser so my laptop doesn't die, and I'm going to see what he has given me. Okay. Got a new Blender instance open. Well, they're not connected. Maybe that's not a problem, but they're not connected. Let me just see. Oh. He says Saturn doesn't care. Oh, this one's creative. This is like a non-manifold mesh. Okay. Well, all right. Just going to try to recreate what he has done. Here, basically what he did is get rid of these, and now we have the problem that these are connected, which they're not supposed to be. Oh god, better do that again. So the easiest way I think is to get rid of some of these faces. Okay, and now what I have to do is root this face down. Root this face down. Root this face down. Come on, come on. You can do it. Come on. Still set to that one. So that's not the mode we want. We want this mode. And now you can see this is a very creative mesh. Something I think which you're not supposed to do. At least on modern machines. Like, these aren't connected at all, but since the Saturn the Saturn just turns these into sprites, like individual sprites, so it makes sense that this works on Saturn, because on modern GPUs this will wreak havoc on your maps, normal maps, height maps, specularity stuff, I would guess, but these are just gonna be rotated sprites anyways, so you gotta relearn how to do 3D models on Saturn, and if this works, this works. If it works, it works. It's just, it is fine. It's fine. Let's go ahead and color this in. There should be, like, for new community members, like a Saturn modeling guide, because you have to, as I've now learned from Remy, you have to unlearn a lot of modeling habits. Yeah, just as Remy says, each face is a separate sprite. It's not connected to anything. It's just a separate sprite rotated, and so this works. When you're using face snapping, always remember which face of the normal you're facing, because it won't snap onto the back face. It will only snap to the front face. Like here I can do this, but if I go back here and try this, this will not happen. It will not snap. So that's how you have to do it. Oh, see what it did? Oh, hey, what did you do? Where's my face? Where's my face? Where did you extrude that? Down here? Oh, okay. Uh, don't do that. Don't extrude down there. Do not do that. So Saturn Dave and Patrick from the Shiro, so you they said if you say something on stream, it will become a true project because then you're binding people to that project. Like, and I'll say VBT is going to in theory is going to port uh I don't know, some Assassin's Creed or whatever to Saturn. He has to do it. Those are the rules, you know. I didn't make it up. Those are just the rules. You you can't get around it. It's it's just how it works. Right? Right. I wonder if I could optimize other models with this radical technique, because I just thought about this guy because some of these faces are necessary. Like, this could be like one face. This one, the back one. Like, this could be a face, and this could be a face. And I could even save a lot of faces here. Well, maybe not 6 to 8 big, but less quads overall. That would be doable. Like, if especially the backside. I separate this and just start reducing the geometry. Start reducing the geometry. I should be able to get away with less. There's one triangle, but maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay. Just the one. But we're keeping just the one. So we have 4 faces now. Oh boy. I think I know what I can do. Can use this and snap to head. So Raimi says he was talking about the backside of the head, and he was absolutely correct. We can reduce this by like a lot. Always something you really need to keep in mind. You don't have to have a non-manifold mesh. You just have to make sure that that the spaces are like evenly spaced, which they're not here. So we're gonna see if we can get this sorted out with some sorting methods. And let me see. I think the front face is mostly good. It's mostly good. Yeah. Amy says the front is good too. The only place I could see is if I could merge these four faces, and then straighten them out. But come on, it's fine. It's fine. And he has this. It's fine. So, anything else? Anything else I wanted to do? So, let's just. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Check the small houses. I could have more small houses. They could be modeled stupidly. I think I already used this technique right here. Yeah, I see one. Right here. This, for example. I can just like do I want to do that? Because now it has evenly spaced faces. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to go over a few things, but I think most houses are houses are mostly good. Well, here's some things I don't need. Small rims on the house roof. What do you mean, Raimi, by small rims? You mean this one? This one right here? Ah, you're talking about the red edges. The red edges are seams for those are stuff you use for unwrapping. I'm not using unwrapping, but I can select these if I press L because it's limited to seams. Those are basically useless. they don't do nothing. Like, I can go hit L here and have these, or I could just do that by material, but because this has all different materials, that won't work, so I can quickly just select the roof and stuff like that. Or I go here, select the roofs. That's what that's for. Yeah, that's, you can, there's a lot of edge information. So Raimi was like asking for the right seams, and there's a lot of information you can like put into the edges in Blender. Like this one is for unwrapping to, so Blender knows where to do the UV unwrap, and there's a lot of different edges. Do you know the other edge types, Raimi? Do you want to know? I don't think you're gonna need them. They're mostly for like high poly stuff. So yeah, I can see some places where I can lose some faces. There's no smooth edge. There's only sharp edge, uh, creasing, stuff like that. I can just show it. Like, let's make a cube. Scale that up by 100. Go to studio lighting so we can see it, and then we're going at a subdivision surface modifier. You can see now the surface gets subdivided, and I can like do go edge crease and increase the edge crease, so it knows at which edges it needs to make it more sharp. Let's shade this. Shade smooth, and now we could tell it to like go mark this edge as sharp. And if we now go to the geometry data, normals, smooth, put this up to 180, you can see it also stops the smoothing effect right here. So there's a lot of stuff. It's all in this Control E. You have mark sharp, mark seam, edge crease. I don't know what freestyle edge is. I've never used that one. Yeah, but that's the main stuff, like, of edge information. It's the seams we just saw, and these two, and the other one I don't use. So, but you use them a lot. Oh no, there's another one. There's a one called edge weight. Weight is used for other stuff, like if you have a cloth, like a flag, and you put you subdivide a plane, put a cloth simulation on it, and then you put weight of 1 on one edge of the flag, and that's where it gets held. Or if you want to make a curtain, you put edge weight on one of them so it get pinned down and the curtain just doesn't fall off the rail. So those are all stuff. If you're just doing low poly stuff in Blender, you're probably never gonna use those, but you are gonna probably use those a lot when you want to do like pre-rendered stuff. But yeah. So yeah, those are two completely different topics. Like the way if you pre-render stuff, you're gonna use the modern GPU render engine of Blender, and just give the Saturn a picture to display, and that's about it. And what we're doing now is doing stuff that Saturn is actually going to display by itself. It's going to show all the textures by itself and calculate them, and you can actually load them on the console, and it doesn't need to be pre-rendered. That's the big difference, and we're going to use a hybrid method of both. So there's gonna be a plane here, pre-rendered plane on screen, and we're just gonna fly around, and the island is going to be an actual mesh, and that's the difference. Okay, we just have short time to switch to what I've prepared. Let's open up the textures. I'm going to go to the textures, and I'm going to the sunflower texture. Gonna close down Blender and go ahead and open this pixel edit, a specialized pixel editing program, and what I've prepared is this scaled down version with 16 colors of an actual like sunflower field, and we're going to use that texture. I think I've overdone it. I wanted it to look really yellow to contrast against the green grass, but I think I got it became too yellow and brownish. There's not enough green from the plants coming through anymore, so maybe I'll have to look over this. See what we can do. No, it's already reduced, so I'm gonna have to try to fix this later. Let's just go ahead and try to build the interstices of these rows. So we have like 11 rows. It's always 2 pixels per row, and then the interstice. You have like 11 rows of sunflowers. Could get some greenish stuff still in here. And like go ahead. See. Oh no. Maybe see how this looks like. play around a bit. Make it not too even. And see how it comes out. So is this the interest? So this is a row. This is a row. This is a row. And this is also a row. This is not a row, and this is like a bit too bright for my taste. Let's make it more clear that there is actually a gap there. Just going ahead and filling in the gaps. You have a preview here. Try to make this look somewhat even. Just rows of sunflowers, you know? Just your ordinary everyday sunflower. Actually saw one on campus. Single sunflower. And I got to pet a stray cat, so overall it was a good day. See what we have here. Dithering is always a good idea. Don't use large areas of the same color. It looks unnatural. It just it doesn't look right. It looks really off and weird, and it's overall bad. Just bad. Oh no. Let's not do that. Let's make this a little darker. This is also not acceptable. We'll have to fix that. Okay. Okay. get some of those in here and make the middle somewhat darker. Used to also be quite distorted. So let's have a look what this program is actually useful for. Let's make a tile set. Pick this tile, which still looks somewhat perspective, even though it shouldn't. And let's make these rows line up nicely. So this looks somewhat okay, I believe. Also somewhat okay. And this here is, it's a bit weird, I believe. Like this whole affair right here. Could separate this a lot more. And these two rows should also lead into each other, and these as well. So there's still some fixing to be done, and there's no gap between those two rows. I don't know if that's a problem. Here's a row, and these rows, do they really line up? I don't think they do. I don't think they line up properly. There's a shift going on right here. And we need to fix that shift. But I also think we should wrap up the stream. Call it a day. Thanks, Raimi, for coming in, and for everyone who may be watching afterwards. And I'm going to say good night.